Business is like a pie. You can only eat one piece at a time. So which is the most important piece to focus on? And how does that relate to being able to scale the business, manage it well, and free up your time? I'll explain that in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimus Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. In one of my most recent videos, I talked about delegation and how important that is to be able to free time to work on what's most important in the business in terms of areas that need improvement or to scale the business, to grow it. And so I want to take that a step further in this video. And in fact, this is kind of like a training. And I also have a free workbook that you can download that goes along with this video. So you could walk through that worksheet and actually put what I'm saying into practice after or as you watch this video. So let's get started. A piece of pie is something probably we all like, and it's a great dessert, and you can even make a meat pie to make a meal out of it. And if you use the analogy of a pie, usually when we have guests, we divide that pie into several pieces. And so each piece in this analogy represents a part of an organization, a fundamental aspect of any business. Now, I'm going to use 5 parts or 5 or 6 to show what I mean in terms of dividing that pie equally into different areas. And so here you have, from my PowerPoint that I created, the areas of importance of a business that is crucial for any leader to be able to manage well. And these areas, you could change the titles to suit what your business is about. But typically we have finances, sales, marketing, you could combine sales and marketing, operations, human resources. Those are several key areas that need to work well in unison together in order for the business to grow and to succeed, to flourish. Now, let's take a look at this from a different perspective. In the past, I've done a video called the You Incorporated. So I've taken that theme and applied it here. And I've added, as you can see in the middle, the number 1. I've added the titles of each section onto this pie chart. And you have the number 10 at the extremes of this circle or pie chart. So what I want you to think about and evaluate is, where are you in terms of your satisfaction with each of these functional areas of your business? And I want you to score yourself or your perception of how you're doing in these areas on a scale of 1 to 10. And so you would add a number on the line for that each of those functional areas. So in my example here, I have finances at around 6. I have sales at about 8. I have marketing also around 8, operations at 5, and human resources at 3. And when you connect these together, you could see that it forms an irregular circle. In other words, it's not fully round. So the idea is, if this was a wheel that needed to spin and provide a smooth ride, it wouldn't be smooth. It would be very bumpy because everything is not in balance. And so it's up to the business owner, the CEO, to make sure that for the organization to roll towards its destiny, towards the vision, the mission, it needs to be well balanced. And so it's up to you to work on the areas that need attention in order to create that balance. So in this case, probably human resources, which is low at 3 in my example, would be the area to address. Now, how does this relate to my previous video on delegation? Well, the problem is that if you, the business owner, are trying to eat all parts of the pie at the same time, in other words, if you're being pushed or being pulled to solve problems in all those areas, then how do you have time to work on the area that requires the most attention to create that balance? That's what I mean, how it relates to delegation. And your job is not to be a problem solver. Your job is to find solutions, of course, but to make sure that the managers, or if you are a manager, to make sure that you know what the problems are and make sure that there are people or the teams are working on those problem areas and finding solutions. But I'm going to keep it focused on the business owner or CEO, because your job is to make sure the managers are running their area or their business unit well, and that they're accountable, and that you don't have to always jump in and solve their problems for them. I call that delegating up. When a manager brings the boss his problems, then he's delegating up. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't times where you have to dive into the problems and support the manager. And a problem like human resources, I use that problem now because we're in a period where it's really difficult to hire people. There's a shortage of manpower, especially very skilled people. And so it's easy to fall into this problem area and have to solve it. But a business owner cannot be skilled, well-skilled, as well as the managers to really lead those departments or solve the problems. But business owners often, especially smaller ones, tend to wear many hats and think that they have the solutions, or haven't delegated properly, aren't providing the right coaching, haven't provided the right training, or ways to keep managers responsible and accountable. So in my worksheet, there's a section for you to walk through this exercise and to determine which area you need to work on the most. And that's where you should be involved with your manager or leader to find solutions. And this is where collaboration, brainstorming come in, that 2 heads or more are better than 1 in terms of looking at problems from different perspectives. And you could consult my videos and articles on problem solving. I also have free download worksheets for that as well. And I go through the techniques to brainstorming and other problem solving techniques as well. So this is the situation. And a situation like human resources where you lack manpower, what ends up happening, it'll drive down the score in some of the other areas, like, for example, operations. Maybe operations is your priority, but the problem of human resources is impeding you to improve your productivity. And this could lead to poor sales because you can't fill the demand from clients, and could lead to poor customer satisfaction, and it could affect your finances as well. So one poor area where you score low will affect all the other areas as well, typically. And if you fix in this example, this human resource problem, the other areas will flourish as well. So don't bite off more than you can chew. Find the piece of the pie that needs the most attention. But to do that, you do need freedom of time. You can't be engaged too much in details of all the departments. You need to be able to have the time to work on those opportunities. I call them opportunities. It's a problem, but once you solve it, it becomes an opportunity for growth and profitability. Now, also I included some questions in this worksheet that you could go through to help you think through the causes of these problems, because you want to address, don't come up just with solutions. First, think of the causes, what's causing the situation. Do that in a team if you can, come to agreement, and then work on the solutions once you know you're addressing the true causes or one true cause. It's always best to start with the most important cause and then find the best solution for that, apply that, and then measure to see if it's working, and then go to the next solution if required. But sometimes one cause and solution will fix the problem enough to go on to another area of focus. Now, I also included in my worksheet a goal planning form, which is also made available as a standalone download, and I have videos that walk you through that, because once you have your solution, you want to be able to plan out how to apply that. And, part of the problem is often the leader themselves. If you're not delegating enough, then what is standing in your way? So you need to look at external problems, like I mentioned, the current difficulty in finding talented workers or skilled workers. But you also need to look at you as a leader. What's causing you to perhaps not delegate enough, or maybe are you too controlling? Maybe you don't have the right person in a particular job that can take charge, that has the skill set, that's willing to take certain risks or make decisions. Because a big part of delegation or people being responsible and accountable is their ability to make decisions. And this is where coaching comes in, where you want people to become more independent and confident in their decision making, and coaching them on doing that plays a big part of this. So in the description of the video is a link where you could download this and my other tools as well. So I hope you find this useful. Please leave a comment if you'd like, and I'd love your feedback as well. Check out some of the other related videos. I mentioned those on problem solving, especially helpful those for team problem solving. If you haven't already, subscribe now to get news of new videos like these. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.